You're listening to Rise to Your Purpose, a personal and spiritual development podcast for female entrepreneurs with a mission.
We're your hosts, Brandie and Natalie.
Welcome to another episode of Rise to Your Purpose. Have you ever been building a business from a place of maybe grief or trauma? Today we're diving into this heavy topic because it is really important as females and as entrepreneurs that we are taking care of ourselves and, more importantly, addressing any underlying emotions or trauma that we've been dealing with and suppressing so that we really can flourish and have a successful life and business. So you can be experiencing two different things when you're building a business. One, you could be avoiding and just building from a place of avoidance where you're just diving headfirst and you're only focusing on your business, or you could be building from a place of just complete shutdown. Neither one are healthy, and so we're diving into that today with our guest, Kristin Richards. She is the founder of Round 2 Ministry, and we're going to share with you how to just really be aware of your feelings, how to address them, and how to move out of trauma and really start building a life that is beautiful, that is happy, and that allows you to grow and be successful in your life and business. So listen in, and we hope you enjoy. Friends and purpose partners, welcome back to another episode of Rise to Your Purpose. So excited to have you guys on here, and if you're able to watch us live on Facebook or Instagram, welcome to you. For those of you who are new, my name is Brandie Thomas, and I'm one of the founders of Victorious Entrepreneurs Rising. And we are on a mission to help you build a business that works for you while creating kingdom impact. So today I'm so excited to introduce you to my friend, Kristin Richards. Kristin is first and foremost a Christ follower. She's a mama of 3 and happily remarried to the love of her life. She's a health coach and entrepreneur. And Kristin and her husband are creating a ministry called Round 2, and I'm super excited to share this with you. She believes we're never too old to start over. So today we're going to be discussing getting back up when you've had a major life disturbance. We've talked about this one before on here, but I want to bring it up again. Trauma can be the reason you're not growing your business, and it can also cause you to build your business in unhealthy habits and have those unhealthy habits at its foundation of your business. So I know I've shared my story before with my infertility grief, and I've experienced different extremes when it comes to building my business. The first extreme was me building from a place of avoidance. So I was just, heads down, focused only on my business and basically avoiding everything in my life that was causing me pain and trauma. And that led to burnout, resentment, not truly participating in any self-care. And then I went to the opposite extreme where I just completely shut down, and I really just went to a place where I couldn't even show up for my business and couldn't really create anything. And so because I just let that pain of overwhelm finally just took over. And so I think it's really important that as we're building businesses and as women, that we are creating space for self-care, and we are creating space to deal with those things in life that come up that, cause trauma, that cause life disturbances. So I'm really excited that we get to talk to Kristin today, and we're going to highlight what she's doing with Round 2. So welcome again, Kristin. I would love for you to share with us how you got into this space and to just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Brandie. I'm so happy to be here and meet you officially. It's funny, we connect. We're like, oh, wait, we're in the same state. That's the beauty of online building is, you just assume someone's not close, and then we're in each other's backyard. So it's great to be here. Thank you. I survived a very tumultuous first marriage. And, without going down that rabbit hole, it was it was difficult. It was not ever my plan or my intention, as no one walks down the aisle with the intent to divorce, but found myself turning 40 and my marriage was imploding. And so I had already started seeking out Christ. I was not raised in the church. I was not raised a Christ follower, but had just, once you have kids, you're looking for bigger cause, bigger purpose. And so had been building that relationship, but truly, as that first marriage imploded, my relationship with Jesus, that he was my rock. That was all I had. He continued to remove individuals, best friends, husband, my counselor, my beloved counselor passed away from leukemia during this period. I mean, it was just this removal, the season of removal. And what the message was is he kept saying, keep your eyes on me. You know, I need your eyes on me. And so as that relationship, you know, was building, my life was imploding. But I truly, in hindsight, there's even like dark spaces I don't remember, because he is just buffered and protected, and his wings have encompassed me. So as I grew out of that, you know, during my first marriage, I worked at corporate America. I barely had a Facebook account. I was not an entrepreneur. I was not self-employed. I had no desires of being self-employed. But as that story, as I started to see my survival and the needs and the voids that exist in our secular world, I really started to feel this calling. And the calling was that there's just a place that our world is missing. You know, when you have a huge life explosion, a huge catastrophe, something major that happens in your life, once you can function again, then there's a group at church, or there's, you know, a friend support system, or there's grief counseling, or there's this, you know, XYZ. But that immediate space is what my now husband and I really feel is missing. And so as you know, we both survived. My now husband and I had been friends for many years, hadn't spoken 6 years, and God just reconnected us. We both were not interested. You know, we were like, no, thank you. You're so cute, but no, thank you. But God kept aligning our paths. And with that, he had work for us to do. So we say he brought us together quicker than either of us would have expected, because he had stuff for us to do. And within that is creating this round 2 ministry, and pouring into humans and delivering life and love and hope and just being a vessel so that God can use us.
I love that. And I totally understand. Like, I went through a pruning season myself when I was probably about 20, it would have been 2019, when I was talking about the extreme side of me just like shutting down and really just focusing on God, and just turning away parts of my businesses that were no longer serving me, and him just showing up like, you need to face this grief, and you need to face this, and I will bless you. And I don't know so we actually adopted Elijah. And so once I went through that pruning season, it was almost like we found the match, and it's like divinely orchestrated. But you're right, like in those moments when you're just trying to get out of bed, and you know, and just trying to survive before you can really function again, like, where do you go to? Like, you got to keep your eyes on God. And so thank you for sharing your story with us. I would love for you to dive into like, what is round 2 and how does it serve people?
Excellent question. So as we both see and know, you know, by the time you are 20, I would say 22, 23-ish, you're starting to see, you know, life isn't all unicorns and rainbows. You know, we have these major life issues. And I know that I'm several years older than you, but it doesn't change, you know, as you grow and as you mature. Tragedy is tragedy. You know, so none of us are immune to that. So what round 2 ministries is really, for the longest time, we didn't know what it was. You know, it's only been within recent months that God is starting to pull back that veil and really show us, you know, what it is and what it can be. But what we liken it to is a foster service. So say, Brandie, you were a foster mom, and today, you know, the service calls and they're like, Brandie, we've got a little boy. Can you take him? We'll be there at 5. You would have a network of individuals that you could text, call, communicate with, and you would have diapers, you would have toys, you'd have food, you'd have a food train for you and your husband. Like, all of these wrap around, let me support you while you go through this, you know, this blessing, this birthing, this next season that you're going through. That's what we see and envision with round 2 ministries, is so many times one of the spouses within in the marriage doesn't know there's a divorce on the horizon. They're blindsided. It's rare that it culminates. It's rare that it's just like, oh yeah, we've been heading this way. And that does happen. But also in cases of addiction, infertility, there's so many things that happen. And then you hit that like, okay, here we are, I'm in this pit and what do I do? And so we want to have a way to connect with friends, with like-minded individuals. So really what we're seeing this as now is a connection. It could eventually end up being a connecting app. It could be a number that you text, like help, or divorce. And it's just super easy. And then you get connected that way. But it's a way for an individual that's been there and an individual that's going through can connect. And provide different things. It could be, hey, I know a great counselor. Hey, I know a great realtor. These individuals have been vetted. There's so many unknowns, and we really just want to wrap around that individual that's hurting. No one, no mama ever has a baby and then thinks, man, I can't wait till I get divorced and I don't get them 50% of the time. No one prepares you for that piece of it, so it's it's not that just initial, it's now this is really happening. My kids are leaving for the first time this weekend. It's soul crushing. And so Eric and I just really feel this need and this desire to be his hands and feet. What can we do? I don't have letters after my name. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a shrink, but I got street cred. And I've been through some things. And I'm obedient to his calling on my life. So let me connect you with someone that can help you. And that's really, what it is. After explosion in your life, here's people that can help you and love on you and nurse you back to you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I just love the heart behind your ministry and your obedience to the unknown. And like God does, it says like, God's going to guide and direct your steps, and he's a lamp into your feet. So you don't necessarily see the whole picture. There's still a lot of darkness. And like you said, he's still unveiling parts of your ministry to you, but you're just like taking that next step where he is lighting that path for you. I have like chills right now.
Me too.
It's so cool. I would love for you and for us to even discuss like, what are 1 to 2 action steps that our listeners, if they're kind of in that stage of trauma right now, what is like 1 or 2 things that they can just do to start to shift, to get refocused, step out of that maybe start walking out of the trauma, for their version of round 2? Like what was some of that wisdom that you've experienced? What was like 1 or 2 things that you're like, this is what I had to do just to take that next step?
Sure. So the first thing that I always encourage anyone is feel the feels, and it's not rocket science. It's not, oh, wow, you're so smart. Look, Kay Rich, what do your wisdom is overflowing. But so many of us walk through, and in the secular world, it's like we're told, especially as women, you're enough. You don't need anything. You're fine in your own skin. You're empowered. You just need to muscle it out. You just need to dig in and grind it and do this. And I'm here to say you aren't enough, but God. You aren't enough, but God. And over and over and over. And so if we don't feel that the pit, feel the tragedy, feel the loss, all you're doing is suppressing it for a later date. And it's not recommended, y'all. It is not recommended, because then you're carrying around extra boulders and weights and, and just stones and baggage on your shoulders, and it can impact your physical health. And so that is the first thing we say is feel the feels, and then the second one is just reach out to anyone, a safe anyone. A lot of times I'll have strangers. I pour into different divorce groups on Facebook, and I'll have strangers. Hey, I resonate with your story. Can we talk? Can we chat? Can we, and there are good humans, there are individuals out there that want to just reach back. They've already been through the thing. They've already felt the feels, they survived, they got the t-shirt, they got the
Yeah.
beach towel, they got the hat, they got the, like they've already
Right.
been there and done that thing. And so they're reaching back and they're saying, hey, I got you. I got, like, here's the first thing. I just want to, I'm going to sit on the phone with you and I'm going to be present.
Yes.
Just going to be present for you. So feel the feels and then just reach out, like make a step. You have to put your toes in the Red Sea before you can be blessed.
Yes. I love that. That's so powerful. And that is something I've learned on my like journey through different stages of grief I've had in my life, through, being diagnosed with Crohn's disease and walking through that journey versus in my infertility journey, and just other loss. And yeah, I went from a place of you're not supposed to cry, like you're weak if you cry, and then like reprogramming and reshifting that paradigm to be like, no, you're strong if you cry. If you can feel the feels, like that's a strength and that's a practice and almost like a badge of honor. And I feel so proud of myself for just allowing myself to be weak, if you will, but it's also like a strength. Like I know we say break down enough to cry and like just lay everything out on the table and give it up to God. But that took a lot of strength to be that vulnerable, even with God, and have those conversations and have those. I like to picture like in those moments when you're just like punching at God, but he's just like wrapping his arms around you, like, I've got you, child. Get mad at me, get angry, yell at me. I'm going to be here and hold you through this. And that was one of the best things about our relationships that came out of that grief, was just like learning and seeing the character of God and like who he really is as a papa, and just how he's so strong when we're weak. And I'm like, emotions coming up for me right now because it's like so much love. And if you guys hear nothing from this message, just know like God's got you. Like he loves you so much. If you're feeling angry, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling just like so mad right now, go to him with that. Don't avoid him. Go to lean into him in their pain and in your trauma and your grief. Like he wants to hold you and lift you up. And then when you're ready to walk, he's going to walk with you hand in hand, and like, but he's going to carry you in between. And I'm just so glad he showed me that part of his heart and revealed that to me when I was sitting in my bathtub in the dark, just like crying and, as vulnerable as anybody could be. And I'm just so grateful for that pruning like season and that grieving season. And now, like you said, I can turn around and help women going through infertility, and like you can turn around and help women going through divorce and that like just grief in general, because we all like this world we're all grieving something.
For sure.
And so many of us just don't maybe have the emotional intelligence, or like nobody's holding space. Like find that person who can hold space, like you said, and just be present with you and not judge you, and just be like, I'm here to love you. Let it all out. I think that is so, like, I love that you said just like feel the feels and like find that person who can hold that space for you, because I think that those are like really the first two steps of kind of getting out of the trauma and moving forward. Whew, I got like goosebumps.
I love it. I love it. And that's just the power of God. That's his power. His power is made strong in our weakness.
Yes.
And so it's that debunking and stepping into truth. We always think, you think back when you're a teenager and like you're trying to get away with something from your parents and they already knew. 9 times out of 10, they already knew. Well, it's the same with your Heavenly Father. And that's what I tell people all the time. Like, you're not tricking him. You're not hiding anything from him. He already knows your heart is broken.
Yeah.
And he has allowed this for greatness that we don't even know yet. But when we try to carry it in our own humanly strength, you can't. You can't. And so it's empowering, and kudos to you that you can share that and say, I remember, showers, I think women especially, like that's our space where it's like, outside this bathroom, I have to be XYZ. I had kids that were looking at me and I had to have this face on and continue this strength, but in the shower was my safe place. And I would I would scream, I would cry. I'd be like, Lord Jesus, I don't understand. I don't understand. And then tomorrow I'd do it again. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's all
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah. I think, yeah, just acknowledging where you're at and being aware of it and just letting yourself be okay with not being okay
Yeah.
is like huge
Exactly.
for women who have to, like you said, you have to put on a brave face. Like you're going to work or you're doing a meeting or you have kids or you have all these
Life still goes on.
responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. But find that space where you don't have to be okay. Find that person that you don't have to be okay around. And, you know, sometimes it's a stranger. Like the people I've met through social media sometimes have been like, hey, let's hop on a Zoom and like a lot, like I just want you to know. And I've built some beautiful relationships with people I've never physically met.
Yes.
And God has just gifted those people to me in different seasons of my life. And I know from my trauma and, you know, life's disturbance moments, like God has always blessed me. Like he's always been able to have me turn around and, like you said, reach out my hand and pull somebody else up. And I've always come through that fire, refined, like with a new strength. And honestly, it's a beautiful moment. As I'm raising my son right now, like I was thinking the other day, like God sees the destruction, but sometimes he has to let us fall. And like as my son's learning to walk and he's like trying to pull himself up and like trying to stand up and balance, like I see he's about to fall, but I can't necessarily be there to catch him every time. He has to learn that. And it's kind of, I feel so blessed to like be a parent, and like I feel like God, that's like our little gateway to that God saying, this is how I love you, child.
Yes.
And that's been a really cool experience for me as a new
Yeah.
mom, just like seeing little glimpse of how God like lets us go through different things in our life because he knows goodness is going to come from it. And I love Jeremiah 29:11, where he's like, I'm working all things for your good and your prosperity, not to harm you, but to bring you something good. And that's like a verse I hold on to. Do you have a verse that like you hold on to? I know this is like this is off script, but
no, that's fine. Yeah, I've got several. My verse that got me through a lot of my valley was Exodus 14:14. You know, is that God is always working for you. You just have to be still. You know, he's always working for you. You just have to be still. And so that always brought me so much peace, and that I don't have to do this. I can't do this. I can't begin to know the intricate ways that he is going to bless my kids, bless me, bless my family, like, you know, through pain and joy.
Right.
Because he's always working. He's always working. My only job is just to be still.
Yeah.
Now that's a job. That's a huge job. Because I'm a doer. I'm a type A. Just like you, like, let's go. Give me 12 assignments.
Yeah.
I'll understand the be still. And so it was lots of lessons in that verse. And my favorite part about Exodus 14:14 is Exodus 14:15. Moses is like, God's like, why are you looking at me? Go.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like there's a season to be still, but then the very next verse is like, what are you doing? Like, it's time to go now. And there's a season to go.
Amen. Amen to that. Oh my gosh, that's power right there. I love that. I need to go back and read Exodus because I was like, I'm not sure where she's going with this verse.
So good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so powerful. All right. So just to like bring this back to the business conversation, like women who are listening, if you guys are going through trauma right now, I just want you, if you're in the season of you're just face down in your business, I just want to call out light that's not healthy for you. And if you're in a season where you're just like overwhelmed and just burnt out and you're just done, that's also not healthy. And so we are talking this today because your trauma is important, it's valued, we hear you, we see you. And we want to just encourage you that if you're going through something, to like reach out, find those people who can hold space for you and take that time to really allow yourself to feel the feels and go through it, because not only is your life going to be blessed, but your business is going to be blessed. Like it's just been amazing to see God bless my business this past year alone, of me just having that shift in when something happens, I go straight to him now instead of trying to carry it on my own. And so thank you so much, Kristin, for diving into like this deep, kind of heavy conversation. I would love for you to share, where can people find you if they want to partner with you and work with you, or just be connected with you?
Sure. So on Facebook, it's Kristin Richards, Kristin Richards. I'm trying to think, it's the picture of my husband and I now is my profile picture. And then on Instagram, my handle is krich_biohacker.
Awesome.
But yes, I would love to connect with you. You can message me and we can set up a Zoom. We're all about shrinking the world, even our state, our city.
Yeah.
Let's connect and plug into each other.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kristin, for your time and for sharing your story and for sharing your ministry with us.
Thank you.
And yeah, everybody listening, I hope you have a blessed day.
Rise Your Purpose will be a weekly podcast. Our hope is to inspire and educate you on your entrepreneurial journey to help you fuel your passions, live your purpose, and build a business that works for you.
You can subscribe, rate, and comment on any podcast app. We'd love to hear from you. It makes us so happy to see you tuning in to the show. So if you're on Instagram, let us know what your favorite part of the show was by taking a screenshot of the episode you tuned into and tag us at Live Victorious on your story. Let us know what your favorite quote or takeaway from the episode was so that we can be inspired to keep creating content like this for you.
To learn more about us and get involved with our community of mission-driven entrepreneurs, join our Facebook group, Purpose Partners, where we partner together in faith and business. So until next time, build a business that works for you and stay in alignment with your mission.